my honest review on my new All-American pressure canner. Let's go. Start off, it comes in a very truthful box. And while it isn't an issue for us, it could be an issue for other people. We live in the country, so we haven't had anything stolen off a front porch, but if you live in an area that might, this is something you might want to consider. This is a Atoll 930. It is a 30 quart canner. It's quite large. I mean, it's fairly heavy. If you don't want this big a one, you know, this is definitely one of their bigger options. They have smaller ones to pick from. I just wanted this one specifically because you can stack 2 of these 32 ounce jars on top of each other and do 14 cans in one round. This is what I was doing yesterday. I did a test jar of water just to make sure everything was good with the canner, that I didn't have any issues. It's my first time ever using it, so I wanted to make sure I knew how to use it before I did a bunch of jars and wasted a ton of food. So to use it, I watched 2 videos explaining how to use it before I even opened it up. And then I read the manual as well, which was very thorough on explaining how and what you need to do properly to use it. What I was looking for was something I could do a lot in, and this kind of met that criteria. I had done a lot of research beforehand on different brands, and this is just kind of the one I landed on. It's made locally, not locally, in the USA. I had a lot of good reviews, and while it seemed kind of overwhelming, it did end up being fairly user-friendly. There are some quirks that you have to deal with when working with this brand. They don't have the rubber gasket seals, which helps the seal, so you have to be very careful and get this lid on. Get the lid on really straight before you kind of crank it down, and there's like a system to putting these on your little twister things there. There's like a system you have to follow to put that on and keep the lid on properly. So, and it's very easy to tell if it's not on properly because it'll start like blowing steam out the sides, and it can be an issue. But if you're aware of that, going into it is something that you can prevent. It was really easy to tell once you kind of knew what you were looking for on how to use it. This is the pressure gauge or PSI gauge. It tells you how much pressure is in your canner, and then your weight, which you put on the top of the steam to help it build the pressure. The thing I was not expecting is once you use it, everything kind of turns black. So like everything kind of got a little discolored, especially this one. This one was sitting up on top here for the second row yesterday, and it turned it all black. And I'm not sure if that's normal or not, but I did not know, and I was not prepared for everything to come out that dark. But it did good. We got 13 jars of turkey in the half pint, so that they're smaller. And then we have 7 cans of beans. These were dry beans. It's a Rebel can method, which is not FDA approved. Do your research on that. Another reason I went with the bigger size is because we're going to be moving into our home that we're building probably end of the summer, and I wanted the bigger size because we'll have the space for it. But if we were staying in 800 square foot apartment, I wouldn't have bought this big. I would have gone way smaller to accommodate this space. So kind of go off of what size of space you're working with before purchasing a large or small one. The price for this canner was just under $500. So it's pretty steep for cost. It's not very cost friendly. It's something that you're gonna have to save up for, or maybe, I mean, I think that it's worth the investment for a better quality product, something that's not gonna need as much maintenance. And being a complete beginner, I wanted something that was gonna hold up for me. I wanted something with a quality company behind it, so if there's an issue, then I can contact them and get get that issue taken care of and resolved. I plan on using this canner for making lunches and dinners. Easy dinners, probably like chili or pasta, but I'm not sure if pasta is considered a safe thing to can, so I'll be doing some more research on that one. Mostly meats, because while having meat in your freezer is a good option, I think that it's also a good option to have canned meat, which is shelf stable. If power were to go out for longer periods of time, you're not having a full freezer that's going bad, and you can have shelves full of canned meat that's good in a power outage. Is a beginner friendly option. Like I said, the price is pretty high, but they do have lower priced options that you can pick from. They also have bigger ones than the one I got. I think they had 2 more sizes up from the size that I got. Before you buy it, really think about how much you're going to be using it, if it's worth it to you. If you're new to canning, start with water bath. That's what I started with. If you wanted to jump into pressure canning, go for it. You can totally do it. This was my first experience ever with a pressure canner, so I was very, very nervous. All of those horror stories you hear about the pressure canner blowing up, and they usually come back to faulty seals, or the people just weren't taking care of them properly, or they were old. So just keep up on your maintenance and the simple rules of the pressure canner. So like if they say to oil your seal every single time, oil your seal every single time, and wash it every single time you're done using it, so things stay good. And so you're also supposed to check your valve. There's a valve right here, and you're supposed to see through it. You can kind of see through it already. So check that every single time. Make sure the valve isn't blocked, and make sure your gauge is working appropriately. I like that you have a gauge and you have your weight on these, on the pressure canners, so you know, you can see how much pressure's in there on your gauge, but then you also know exactly kind of where your gauge sits by your weight kind of wobbling back and forth. So that was really cool. I'm sure most of them have that, but I will link the videos on how to use this that I watched in the links below, so you can see what I kind of saw. I followed this lady. She is kind of a big on homesteading and canning, and she's been very easy to follow and made it very simple on how to use it properly, and because she had gotten a new one and was going over all of the steps from brand new out of the box to using it. So that was good. And I may do a video on that as well. All in all, I'm very impressed with this canner, and I do think it's for beginners for sure. My only downside is the price. That's like, the rest of it's been great. So as long as you're comfortable with the price, don't go out and get it if you can't afford it. There are cheaper options that are fine to start out, and go get a cheaper option. But if you have a little bit of extra and you're willing to save for a little while, I do think that this is a great option. If I had to rate this out of 5 stars, I'd give it a 4-star, just because the price, it was really, really steep. Obviously it's made in the USA, and things like that tend to be a little bit more pricey. It's made in Oklahoma, I believe, I want to say. Don't quote me on that. But it works great. I think it's user friendly. I do think it eventually will pay itself off and be worth it. These are our beans. This is our turkey. This is from one batch yesterday, and I'm pretty proud that, and after being so scared, that I just got in there and did it. And it wasn't nearly as bad as people kind of make it seem. It is a little tricky, but just do your research, read the manual, watch a couple videos. Really know what you're going for before doing it, is what I gotta say for that. And I definitely would recommend the All American brand. Thanks for watching, guys. I'd hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell for the next video. We'll see you next time. Bye.